often have people ask me about the body. Is it significant to be present during the funeral? And while there's no one right or only way to do it, I often refer to the body as the ultimate death symbol. Why? Well, because it makes it a lot easier than if it isn't there to begin to acknowledge the death and to embrace the pain of the loss, which is very natural to do when somebody dies. I often use the analogy of it's like if we ask you to sing the national anthem and you stood up and there was no flag, it's harder to find the words to express. You're going to see a lot more expression at a meaningful funeral when the dead person is there. As one of my colleagues said, the dead guy needs to be there. It sounds kind of like humorous in a sense, but it's really kind of like a wedding without the bride present. So when we have a funeral and we're there to acknowledge the death, it makes it a heck of a lot easier when the person who's died is present. And yeah, you're going to have more emotion at that kind of a funeral. I've been to hundreds of funerals. I've been to a lot of them where the body isn't there and people sometimes go away and say, well, wasn't that great? Nobody cried. Made it easier. It was like a party. I couldn't disagree more. When the body's there, you're going to see more emotion, but that means you're seeing more mourning. And we got to remember the words, blessed are those who mourn. That's not a bad thing. It's out of our capacity to give and receive love that we need to mourn. So when my mom was at her own funeral, yeah, I cried. It was appropriate. That was my mother. My life was going to be very different and has been different without her in my life. So I plead with people to consider the value of having the guest of honor at their own experience and knowing that in doing so, yeah, you're going to have emotion, but remember, the only way to the other side is through. Helen Keller taught us that years ago. The only way to the other side is through. And when you spend time saying hello to somebody precious, you're going to be a lot better served than thinking, well, it'll just be easier if I try to go around my grief and around my mourning.